In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on October 20th, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Utah versus Southern California. In a Pac-12 showdown, the Utah Utes clash with the Southern California Trojans on a Saturday evening. Last week, the Utes secured a convincing home victory against California, while the Trojans suffered a road loss to Notre Dame. Notably, the Utes emerged victorious with a 47-24 road win against Southern California in the previous season. The Utah Utes are determined to secure their 3rd conference victory of the season. They embarked on the season with a strong 4-0 record, which included impressive wins against Florida and UCLA. Their sole loss occurred as a narrow 21-7 defeat on the road against number 19 Oregon State in late September. They rebounded from this loss with a dominant 34-14 home win against California last week, bringing their conference record to 2-1. However, the Utes have covered the spread in just one of their 3 conference games. Cameron Rising, their primary quarterback, has been sidelined this season due to injury. Bryson Barnes assumed the starting role against California and managed 128 passing yards. So far, Barnes, a junior quarterback, has recorded 398 passing yards with a touchdown to interception ratio of 1-2. Additionally, Utah boasts freshman Nate Johnson, who has contributed 499 passing yards with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. The Utes employ a committee of 3 running backs. In their recent win, Jaquindon Jackson led the charge with 94 rushing yards, taking his season total to 333 yards with an impressive average of 5.5 yards per rush. Jalen Glover has contributed 245 rushing yards, while Mikey Matthews posted 53 receiving yards against California, bringing his season total to 202 receiving yards. The Utah offense relies heavily on running plays, as they have only surpassed 30 points once in conference play, averaging 322 total yards per game. The Southern California Trojans are eager to rebound after suffering their first defeat last week. While they were undefeated after 5 games, they faced a challenging road loss, falling 49-20 to number 18 Notre Dame in a game where they were 3-point underdogs. It was a significant loss in terms of their potential playoff rankings, although it wasn't a conference game. Nonetheless, the Trojans maintain a strong 3-0 record in Pac-12 play, including an overtime home win of 43-31 against Arizona earlier this month. Their most notable win came in a commanding 56-10 victory over Stanford. They have managed to cover the spread in one of their conference games, and they now sit at number 18 in the AP Top 25. Caleb Williams, the Trojans' junior quarterback, faced some challenges in the recent defeat to Notre Dame, recording 199 passing yards and 3 interceptions. Williams, who is a Heisman hopeful, has reached the 300-yard mark in 3 of his 7 games this season, accumulating a total of 2,021 passing yards with a remarkable touchdown to interception ratio of 23-4. Southern California boasts a talented running back in Marshawn Lloyd, who shone with 154 rushing yards in a recent victory against Arizona State, bringing his season total to 565 rushing yards with an impressive 7.5 yards per rush. The receiving core features several potent threats, led by Taj Washington with 497 receiving yards, while Brendan Rice has contributed 452 receiving yards. Southern California's offense stands out as one of the best in the Football Bowl subdivision, leading in points per play. While Southern California had a strong start to conference play with 3 narrow victories, they faced a formidable opponent in Notre Dame last week. However, the upcoming game in Los Angeles, California, provides a more favorable opportunity for them to bounce back. Utah's defense remains robust, but their offense has struggled without quarterback Cam Rising, and it's challenging to anticipate when he might return. Southern California's offense, led by Caleb Williams, has the potential to outperform Utah, and this is a game where he can prove himself after 2 relatively quiet performances. Williams, a Heisman hopeful, has the opportunity to make a significant impact, particularly against a resilient Utah defense. Considering the current state of Utah's offense and their inability to effectively challenge Southern California's defense, it's unlikely that they will be able to keep pace with Southern California in scoring. So the Southern California Trojans to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Southern California's offense has consistently produced quick scores and high point totals, surpassing 42 points in all but one game this season. Although Utah may limit Williams' performance, he remains one of the nation's top quarterbacks, and Southern California is expected to score. Moreover, Utah's offense is likely to have one of its best performances of the season against Southern California's struggling defense. They scored 34 points against California, their best output of the season, and Southern California has allowed at least 41 points in consecutive games. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Arizona State versus Washington. In a highly anticipated Pac-12 matchup, the 5th-ranked Washington Huskies will host the Arizona State Sun Devils on Saturday. Washington is entering this game on the back of an outstanding performance where they triumphed over Oregon, solidifying their status as one of the top teams in the nation. Michael Penix Jr. of Washington has emerged as a front-runner for the Heisman Trophy after a remarkable display in their recent victory. Meanwhile, Arizona State comes into this game with a challenging 1-5 record, having suffered 5 consecutive losses, but they've shown resilience, covering the spread or pushing in their last 3 outings. The Arizona State Sun Devils currently stand at 1-5 for the season, with their most recent game resulting in a narrow 27-24 loss to Colorado. Despite leading 17-14 at halftime and tying the game at 24 with less than a minute left, Arizona State couldn't prevent Colorado from driving down the field and kicking the game-winning field goal. They outgained Colorado with a total of 392 yards to 295, and they went 6-17 on third downs in the game. While they started the season with a win against Southern Utah, they have faced 5 consecutive losses since. The Arizona State offense is averaging 19 points per game, with 258.5 passing yards and 83.7 rushing yards per game, while maintaining a 33.7% conversion rate on third downs. Quarterback Trenton Burgett has accumulated 726 passing yards, along with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions this season. The rushing attack is led by Cameron Scatibo, who has amassed 367 yards and 5 touchdowns, while Alea Badger has been a significant target with 33 receptions for 422 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the defensive side, Arizona State is conceding an average of 28 points per game this season. In contrast, the Washington Huskies have displayed a flawless 6-0 record this season, with their most recent triumph coming against Oregon, resulting in a thrilling 36-33 victory. Although Washington led 22-18 at halftime, they found themselves trailing 33-29 late in the fourth quarter. However, they managed to score a crucial touchdown with just around 90 seconds left to secure the win. Despite being outgained by Oregon with a total of 541 yards to 415, Washington allowed the Ducks to convert 10 out of 16 third down attempts. The Huskies have been an offensive powerhouse this season, averaging 44 points per game, with 424.7 passing yards and 119 rushing yards per game, along with a 47.5% conversion rate on third downs. Star quarterback Michael Penix Jr. has been exceptional, accumulating 2,301 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. The rushing attack is led by Dylan Johnson, who has contributed 340 yards and 5 touchdowns, while Rome Odens has been a key receiving target, catching 40 passes for 736 yards and 6 touchdowns. On the defensive front, Washington is conceding an average of 21 points per game. Despite their winless record in conference play, the Arizona State Sun Devils have displayed competitiveness, notably covering the spread against a 5th-ranked Southern California. In their last 2 losses, they fell by just 3 points each to California and Colorado. It's also worth noting that Washington only narrowly defeated Arizona by a touchdown in Week 5. Additionally, Arizona State boasts a potent passing game, averaging an impressive 258 passing yards per game, particularly in their quarterback's recent performances. Washington relies heavily on their passing attack, which could be challenged by a solid Arizona State pass defense that's allowing only 217 passing yards per game. Washington is coming off their best victory of the season, defeating Oregon in a thrilling contest. Michael Penix Jr. has emerged as one of the best quarterbacks in the country. While Washington appears to be the stronger team, this game might be a potential trap as they come off the emotional highs and lows of the Oregon game, potentially lacking focus. However, the Huskies' defense has struggled to defend against passing yards, and this aligns with Arizona State's offensive focus. The Sun Devils' defense is better than their record suggests, given their offensive struggles. In what could be considered a letdown spot for the Washington Huskies following their victory over Oregon, Arizona State has had extra time to prepare for this game, and their recent losses have been decided by minimal margins. The Sun Devils are likely to cover the significant spread. Washington is the stronger team, but with their competitive performances in conference play, Arizona State could keep the game relatively close. So the Arizona State Sun Devils to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Additionally, both teams are expected to contribute to the overall point total. Arizona State's potent passing game, which recently scored 28 points against Southern California, is likely to find success against Washington's defense, particularly since the Huskies have struggled in defending the pass. Moreover, Washington's offense has consistently put up high point totals, averaging 42 points in conference play. Arizona State is expected to allow multiple touchdowns, contributing to a high-scoring game. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. UCLA versus Stanford. Saturday night brings a Pac-12 clash between the Stanford Cardinals and the UCLA Bruins at Stanford Stadium. Stanford is riding high after staging one of the most remarkable comebacks in recent college football history, which marked their first Pac-12 win of the season. On the other side, UCLA is on the road, eager to rebound after a recent setback. The Bruins have claimed victory in their last two meetings, including a 25-point win last season, making them the clear favorites this time. However, the competitive edge of this historic rivalry may be tested in this encounter. UCLA enters the contest with an overall record of 4-2, but they're smarting from their most recent loss. In their last game, they put up 24 points against Oregon State, but their defense allowed 36 points. A notable issue for UCLA was the performance of their quarterback, Dante Moore, who struggled, completing just 14 of his 33 passes for 165 yards, along with 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. On average, UCLA scores 29.5 points per game, while their defense typically concedes 16 points. The defense ranks 14th nationally, and it will be crucial for them to step up in this contest. Stanford, with only 2 wins this season, is coming off a thrilling win in their last game. They orchestrated a stunning second-half comeback against Colorado, ultimately forcing overtime and securing a win with a field goal in the second overtime. Wide receiver Alik Iamender was the standout, snatching 13 passes for 294 yards and 3 touchdowns. On average, Stanford scores 24 points, while their defense surrenders 36 points per game. Falling behind early in this game could spell trouble for Stanford, as they aim to maintain their momentum. UCLA comes into this game with a 4-2 overall record, but they're fresh from a loss in their last outing. In their previous game against Oregon State, UCLA managed to put up 24 points, but their defense allowed 36 points. One of their notable struggles was the performance of their quarterback, Dante Moore, who had difficulty completing only 14 of 33 passes for 165 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. On average, UCLA scores 29.5 points per game, while their defense, which ranks 14th nationally, typically concedes 16 points. In this game, the Bruins are expected to rely on their solid defense. The outcome of this game seems clear as Stanford's defensive struggles contrast with UCLA's more balanced offensive approach. UCLA, facing a Stanford defense that has shown vulnerabilities, is expected to dictate the game's flow over all 4 quarters. While Stanford managed a memorable comeback against Colorado last week, it's unlikely to be a pattern, and their first half struggles could resurface. UCLA's defense is expected to apply significant pressure, making it a challenging game for the lower-ranked team in the conference standings. This contest poses a significant challenge for Stanford, as their recent dramatic comeback win might lead some to believe they can cover or beat UCLA. However, the odds are against them, as they struggled in the first half against Colorado and even lost to Sacramento State earlier in the season. Furthermore, they have managed to cover the spread in only one of their 3 home games. UCLA is coming off a string of demanding matchups, facing 3 consecutive ranked opponents. Their previous game against Oregon State, in which they struggled offensively, does not truly reflect their capabilities. Meanwhile, Stanford's weak defense is expected to provide opportunities for UCLA's offense to shine. The game is likely to be lopsided in favor of UCLA, with the Bruins running up the score and Stanford struggling to keep up. The current momentum suggests that UCLA will not let this game get as close as Stanford's dramatic comeback last week, so the UCLA Bruins to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. UCLA is prone to being sacked and committing turnovers, which Stanford is likely to capitalize on. Stanford has struggled to score at home, averaging only 24 points per game. Considering these factors, the under seems to be a wise bet, especially given the strong defensive presence of both teams. The UCLA Bruins are not as explosive as Colorado, and their defense poses unique challenges for Stanford's offense. A lower scoring affair than last week is anticipated for the Cardinals, who don't appear to be approaching the 54-point projected total. All in all, this game is expected to be relatively low scoring with both teams facing challenges. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.